My name is Chase. I'm the one of the marketing managers here at CertiK. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself, kind of a little bit about your background and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. So I'm James. I'm the founder of MagicCraft, MCRT. So I'm a crypto influencer as well. So a YouTuber. I have, I think, 77,000 people on YouTube and on Twitter, like 70, 60 something thousand. And I'm talking about technical analysis, crypto markets, Bitcoin on a daily basis. Then about 1 year ago, I started building MagicCraft, MCRT. And now we're in close to the public beta round of the game. Got in-game testing at the moment with the team. And yeah, it's just an epic play-to-earn project.
Awesome. Yeah, we've had a few spaces with different play-to-earn games and different projects in the GameFi industry. Can you tell us a little bit more about MagicCraft, like kind of just a high-level overview of the game, kind of what goes into it and all that?
So MagicCraft, it's a PvP mobile game at the moment. It is also going to be on PC and then in future consoles and VR. And it's a player versus player game where you earn MCRT, which is the currency. So to play the characters NFTs, the currency is MCRT, which is a cryptocurrency. So instead of playing games that don't really have any real value, you're owning your NFTs, you're owning your characters, you're owning the currency within the game. And yeah, it's like a kind of a revolution in a way because for the first time, players will actually gain something from playing games, not just fun. And yeah, we have as a team, we have an amazing time building MagicCraft and playing. Our community is pretty big around across all the different socials. For MagicCraft, around 300,000 people.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a good number of people. So I mean, I've talked to a few different GameFi projects, as I mentioned, and this has really been a space that I've seen kind of blow up recently. It's becoming bigger and bigger. More users are getting attracted to it. So can you tell me a little bit about like what sets Magic Craft apart from the other kind of GameFi projects?
The reason I built MagicCraft as well and the team built MagicCraft is when we were looking at the GameFi space, it was games that weren't really, I'm a gamer, and they were insulting to a gamer, the games that existed and still exist now. So we built a game that's really like what gamers will play. So it's like PvP based, it's team based, it's like 3-on-3, 5-on-5, 1-on-1, 20-on-20, and you like it's got really like strong action and you're killing each other. It's skill based. It's like a MOBA, so it's a battle kind of game. It's not like these turn-based, card-based, simple games. It's really like a big studio built game. And that's what really sets us apart. Nearly all the other games are one um, kind of a concepts, like they're really just concepts showing a few characters in a 3D world moving around, or they're turn-based games. So where you have like your team, you pick your 5 cards, your players are like attack, then the other person will attack. Those are the games that exist now and still exist now. And MagicCraft is really like a MOBA game on the level of League of Legends or Dota. So that's really what sets us apart from the other games in the space.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have seen that as kind of a trend. The turn-based style games have really been more common, I think. I don't know if that's just because they're probably easier to develop and make. I'm not sure exactly what goes into all that. But one thing I was discussing one time with a project was kind of the ease of users getting into the game, kind of for adoption and just growing the game. Is there any like hurdles for you, like say an average non-crypto user wanted to start playing Magic Craft? Do they have to buy any NFTs? Are there any certain hurdles in the way to begin playing?
So at the moment we're in closed beta. So that's the in team or influencers or advisors, VCs that are playing the game internally testing. But we're expecting this week to be going into, sorry, from Monday next week going into public beta. And to do that, you still need to be into crypto. You need to have either a Genesis NFT. We have about 6,000 sold of the 10,000 or 5,000 sold of the 10,000 Genesis NFTs or 1 million MCRT. Those are the conditions. We have a Web3 kind of platform that will check you'll sign in with your MetaMask and will confirm that you have either the 1 million MCRT snapshotted back 10 days or one of the Genesis NFTs that have not been claimed for the game yet, and then you'll be given access to the public beta. So you still need for the public beta to be into crypto. But in the longer term time frame, it will be released like hopefully this year. Our goal is the day before Christmas to launch in Android and iOS app stores, and then you won't need to know about crypto, have wallets or anything to access the game. But to go through the tournaments and to own the characters and the NFTs, you will have to purchase NFTs or have MCRT to go into the leagues and the tournaments. But by that time, we also expect integration with the Apple Store and Google Play Store with NFTs and cryptocurrencies.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So then it's kind of good to hear that you go on like the closed beta and then kind of testing out all the kinks and stuff because often we see projects kind of just rush maybe a little bit too fast and try to go public too quick, and then things happen down the line where there's kinks in the game and whatnot. So is the closed beta kind of just for you guys to figure out the best way to fix things and make the best game possible, or what was the thought behind that?
Yeah, exactly. It's to like polish the game. We're constantly polishing. It's taken like it's about this game has been in development for about 4 years with 60. It's a development studio with more than 60 developers, and they've worked on some of the biggest, like massive games and AAA rated studios. So they're building an amazing product, and we don't want to just launch it and then have the servers crash and have problems. So at the moment, we're testing it with about 100 closed beta with about 100 people. The public beta, we're going to open it up to around 5,000 people. We expect the first 5,000 players. And that's just to polish the game to at the moment the servers are based in Germany. So we'll be expanding out the servers to all continents and just ironing out the kinks, making sure the game is like the game and the balancing of the characters has been really worked on by the internal team. But now we need to let bigger numbers of players come in to test the servers and just keep expanding incrementally. Not just publicly launch the game and everyone flood in and the servers crash or the game has problems. So we're slowly going to be opening it up to more and more players.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think that's pretty important because, as I said, people kind of rush into things and get a little bit over their head a little bit too fast sometimes. So with gaming projects, I'm always curious with the founder team behind it. Was gaming something that was always kind of very interesting to you that you enjoyed, or is this kind of just a new fad that kind of pulled you in?
I'm a massive gamer, so I played everything: Counter Strike, League of Legends, Diablo 1, 2, 3, StarCraft, Lineage 2, World of Warcraft, all the Warcrafts, everything. So I've been a gamer my whole life, and that's kind of really why I started building MCRT, MagicCraft, and Team, because the games that existed were not really games. Like they were like Axie Infinity is fun and a little bit fun, but it's not like on the level of World of Warcraft, Dota, lineage to any of those. So that's why we wanted to build really a game for gamers. And this game, MagicCraft, is actually this, like, if you've seen some of the gameplay and stuff, it's very fun. It's very skill based. Like the best players will kick everyone's ass. It's very PvP based. So I'm a big gamer, and we wanted to build, and a lot of the team are, and we wanted to build an epic game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like that's something it's kind of a common thing in the crypto space. I forget who I was talking to, but there's all these play to earn games, but everyone's just kind of making it more of work than fun with these games because they're not really that enjoyable for the most part. So it's definitely important, and I like to hear that you guys kind of are focusing on that. It's like it's actually fun to play because feel like that's something that's kind of missing in these games that everyone's building. It's all just about the play to earn thing, but having fun is also a key part of that.
Exactly. It's the most important thing because, okay, people might come just to earn some of their token or whatever the game that they're playing, but they won't stay. And when the bigger games come in, the big studios come in, which they will, and our goal with MCRT is actually to make it easy for the big games and the big studios to come in. We're going to provide them the technology and integrate MCRT through our Web3 systems. When they come in, all these other games are going to just get wiped out by the big studios. So we directly went for making a game that can compete with these big studios that's really fun and actually really a game.
I see. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to get your take on kind of the overall landscape of the GameFi industry and kind of where you see it heading. Do you think it's going to be smaller projects in the crypto space that continue to grow, or do you have kind of the idea that these larger corporations are going to come in and try to take over in a sense?
They're going to come in and take over. A lot of these games that raise money in the bull market, a lot of them, 99% of them, are not going to actually be able to build what they said because now working with the studios, building a game for the last year, and our studio's actually been building this game for 4 years. We bought them out. So um, it's not a simple thing. Like it costs minimum $10 million and around 4 years of development to build something that's really playable and actually people are going to play. And a lot of those games that raised money, one, they probably had big market caps at some points, but a lot of them wouldn't have actually raised enough capital to build what they're trying to build. So I see a lot of these games that raise money in the GameFi space. I go to all the conferences in Dubai, and for example, meeting a lot of these game studios, and a lot of them have concepts or like a character that's like 3D modeled and wired like rigged that can move around on like a basic world, but it's much more than that to build a game. Like it's the servers, it's matchmaking, it's polishing, it's characters, it's animation. It's like 4 years of development. So most of the games won't get off the ground, and then the big players are going to come into the space to capitalize on what's going to happen with the GameFi space, which is going to be one massive industry. I was on stage at Blockchain Economy Conference giving a presentation the day before yesterday, and at the moment, like the target for the gaming revenues, like gaming space revenues, 3 billion players and around $300 billion a year. So a lot of money is in this, and once it's merging with crypto, it's like two massive industries merging together. It's going to be very big, and the big players are going to see this and start to come in. The only thing is, those big players, it's hard for them to pivot into this GameFi space because they need to. Um, it's something you need. It's kind of like, how do I put it? It's something you need to. It doesn't exist, so you have to kind of. They're very legacy gaming studios, so they don't really tinker. They don't really try to create something new. They go with like the legacy templated systems for making games. So it's going to take them a while, and our goal is actually to position MCRT and ourselves to be providing that way to get into the GameFi space, because it will take them a while, but when they do come, they will take over the space. Our goal is to position ourselves to be as big as them and to also integrate MCRT into them. But a lot of the indie studios and stuff that raise money, they're not going to be able to build.
Yeah, as far as like the companies kind of changing in the gaming industry, it's pretty true because often you'll see they just remake games, remaster them, kind of put out the next version of the same game over and over and over. So it's definitely kind of a big switch up for them to get into this industry. And then going back to what you said in the beginning, I often do see that these smaller projects will come out and basically promise the world to users, but I don't think a lot of people understand of how much money and time is needed to build these things that the projects say they're building. So it's good to hear that you guys have you understand that and you've been building it for 4 years, as you mentioned. So just kind of to throw that into the conversation. But I saw on the website something I found interesting is that you can drop real money in items, which makes the stakes more intense. So can you explain that a little bit? So I know like playing these games, you always pick up items from opponents, but real money, like, can you just kind of delve into that feature and what went into that?
So the Web3 system that we're building is like a web interface where you connect your MetaMask, you connect your wallet, and we're also making a MagicCraft wallet. You connect the wallet and you kind of create a room, you create a tournament with MCRT, and the people that want to play have to put forward that MCRT to join that room, to join that tournament, and then the winner will take the kind of the whole room's MCRT. That's what we're going to at the moment. In the longer term time frame, we want to make it that you can actually lose your character or lose your NFT in these big tournaments. And we also inbuilding in the smart contract that every game, every match that occurs, there's going to be a percentage. We're targeting 5% that will go back from those tournaments, put into the treasury, and will buy back MCRT. And also another 5% will be creating larger tournaments. So all the little games that happen that users can create will be creating a bigger prize for a larger overall tournament that will happen each week, where people can win the overall tournament's prize. Very similar to kind of poker kind of tournaments, where the winner takes all or the top three winners take all. And our goal is to make these prizes millions of dollars worth of MCRT. So MCRT is the actual game currency, and the difference is it's tradable already on like 7 or even more exchanges, 2 dexes or 3 dexes. So you can convert directly your MCRT into USDT, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum. So it's real money that you're playing for. And also the NFTs, each character is going to be its own NFT. We have 3 at the moment. So to play that character in the game, you have to have one of those NFTs. There'll be 10,000 of each character. And that adds a different kind of market or way to make money in the game, because once those characters, for example, every one of our team members that are testing the game right now, they all, like if I say one of the team members, they have a character that they play specifically. Of the 15 characters that we currently integrated into the game, there's more coming. We have 25. I play Zap or Blazy all the time. Blazy is like this fire mage. Zap is this like kind of like Zeus, and I always play those characters. Or Roman, for example, he always plays Dr. Lutz, which is like a squirrel with a cannon and turrets, and he can plant the turrets and he can fire a gun. You know, everyone has their own character that they want to play. So at some point, those NFTs are going to be bought up. Especially expect like comparable games have 24, like Theater Arena has 24 million downloads. So it's millions of players that are going to come in and they want to play Blazy, but there's only 10,000 Blazes that are going to exist. So that creates, once they sell out, we also have an NFT marketplace where you can trade our NFTs. Some of the legendaries have been selling for like $10,000 or some of them 80 BNB. So that adds like this entire other aspect that, say I want to really play Blazy and there's 10,000 of them, they've all been sold, they've all been minted. Now people are selling them on the secondary market. It adds another complete layer to the ownership of your character. And the values that they can go to, we don't really know because they're rare.
Okay, I see. And yeah, that's one thing that one area where I see the GameFi and kind of play to earn industry changing the game is where you have games like Fortnite or whatever, one of these traditional games where, you have kids and people putting their money in all the time to buy skins or characters or whatever it be. And then, you put that money in and it's gone. There's nothing you can do with it. And I think being able to trade stuff like that, for example, a skin in a game, reselling it if it's rare, I think that is probably the most enticing aspect of kind of the new form of gaming that I've seen. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I played a game when I was 15. It was called Lineage 2. I'm not sure if you ever played it. Lineage 2.
I have not personally.
It was epic. It's like the biggest South Korean game in the world. It's like um, a massive multiplayer online RPG. So you have a character, and it actually takes 2 years of gameplay to level the character to the max character. And you would like go with your group, and you would kill mobs. You would farm, like you'd constantly be leveling up. Then you'd also have big PvP matches and castle sieges and stuff like this. And I would craft a bow, and this had like there was 1 million players playing on the servers at one point. And you would craft a bow, and the draconic bow used to go for $10,000 US. And I would sell this bow on eBay, and I would have to drop the bow on the ground in the game, and then the person that bought it from me on eBay would go and collect that bow from the ground on the game. Would teleport to some random location where no one else was, drop the bow. Like he would transfer the money, I would drop the bow, and it was completely like a trust-based thing. There was no like escrow, and then he would pick up the bow, and I would get that 10,000. I was literally selling these bows for $10,000, and this is just the economy in NCSoft. It was ranked the 30 biggest economy in the world, like the same economy as a country, the top 30 countries. So this was a massive economy with already billions of dollars circulating through it. But this was all done on a kind of um, finding a way around it. The gold in the game was not real, even though people were paying real money for it on eBay. And this happened in World of Warcraft and stuff like this. With this Web3 technology, with crypto, now we can actually integrate the two together. And it's very exciting what we're building. And as a gamer myself, and it's just something that I fixed the problem that happened 15, 17 years ago.
Yeah, that's a very good real life scenario because I mean, I'm just picturing someone does that and then you said it's all trust based. Then if the other person doesn't drop the bow, well, shit, you're out of 10 grand. There's not really anything you can do about it. So having this kind of integrated into a marketplace online definitely changes the game. I couldn't imagine paying $10,000 for that and then you just teleport somewhere else and don't drop it. That'd be quite
Yeah,
frustrating.
it actually happened to me a few times. Like because I was playing it a lot and constantly farming these bows. Like I was like that. I found I was making a lot of money actually as a young kid, and you couldn't do anything. But it happened only a few times of every transaction. It's like it was rare for people in the game to actually screw others. But this is now like a proper integration, not this like workarounds anymore.
Yeah, I'm just picturing someone, going to the police or something and trying to report this and it would not go anywhere. I feel like they're like,
Yeah,
well, we
exactly.
have real life things to worry about. We're not worried about your bill. So yeah, this is definitely something where I see the industry kind of changing for the better because I know, I mean, so from my example, I played Fortnite right when it came out and apparently I had all these original skins and characters and stuff. And I remember my nephew telling me that he's like, oh, you could sell your account for a lot of money. And I was like, well, what if I didn't want to sell the whole account? I just wanted to sell individual skins or characters. So that's just where I see the space kind of changing for the better. And that's one of the biggest benefits I see of the Web3 gaming. So about the NFTs, are those mintable now? Like can users go on and you said you guys have your own marketplace, correct?
Yep, it's already three NFTs already. Three of the characters are already mintable at app.magiccraft.io, and you own the character. Like once you mint them, it goes to your MetaMask wallet or to your BSC wallet. So you actually own the character. And now we have an NFT marketplace as well, where you can create auctions, or you can put them for sale as well. And quite a lot of volume is going through it now. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe someone from the team that's in here knows them, but it's quite a few hundred NFTs are now listed, 100 plus, and some of them have been selling for like $8,000, $10,000. So it's already got this like economy starting. And that's where the main reason for that is to create a large economy, because a lot of the play to earn games that exist now, why they dropped so much, not just because of the bear market, but also because they had a one-way economy. It was constantly paying out rewards in the token, but no real money inflow back in, except for Steppen. Steppen kind of, it still dropped a lot, but at least they had some kind of inflow. I don't know if you played Steppen, but you had to buy the sneakers to go for the runs, like running. So they already had an inflow of money. So our goal is not just to make a one-way outflow economy. We want to make like a circulating economy where people are buying NFTs, they're buying skins, they're upgrading their character. We want to make a really large internal economy that's circulating, to keep the currency actually strong and growing.
Gotcha. And then you guys have a staking feature as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. At app.magiccraft.io that connects to our Web3 portal. We also have staking. Now we started off like it's been almost, I think staking came out 8 months ago. And like last month there was 300 million MCRT stake. Now we're on like more than 500 million MCRT stakes. So it's growing really rapidly. Our goal was to have long lockup periods or people that like different staking time frames. So we could really like keep people in the project for a very long time.
Gotcha. And then kind of going to the wider gaming industry as a whole, because when you look at games like Roblox or any of those kind of newer games, the younger generation is already pretty immersed in the atmosphere. And I'm just curious your take on the future of gaming. Like, where do you see it headed? Do you see full-on metaverse like in Ready Player One, the movie, or like just curious on your take on where you see this all going in the future?
At the moment, the future is mobile. Like it's still mobile, and it's just mobile is right now. There's 3 billion players playing games. Most of them, it's like 70% of them, are using mobile devices. Um, the future is it's going to go from 3 billion to everyone being able to play games. So like 7 billion people having access to the mobile phone playing games. So that's actually the future. It's mobile first. This whole Ready Player One and stuff. I mean, I was an early developer for Google Glass, so I was one of the prototype developers about 9 years ago on Google Glass. And VR and AR, they're very nice, but it's not the mass market. The mass market is like you're sitting down or someone's sitting at a job and they like bored, they pull out their phone and they play a game. That's like the majority of players. Or they're on the bus and they play a game. Or they're at school and they play a game. And it's from their mobile. They're not going to put on this like VR headset and like immerse themselves into this VR world just yet. It is trending that way. And in the long run, we are also going for VR, but I think we're going to go for VR, but we're also going to go for AR, augmented reality. That's really the future. VR glasses, like putting on these cloggy glasses and blocking your vision and going into a different reality and just standing there in the room, that's not really the future. Like, even though people think that is, and that's what Player One shows, it's actually augmented reality is the future. You have a pair of glasses on, just normal simple glasses that are AR, and you walk around an environment. So you walk around your room, or you walk around your house, or you walk around the shopping mall, and overlaid over what you see is the game. And this is really the future because people don't want to put on this big cloaky mask and just stand in a room and be blind. It's going to be games that are integrated into reality. It's similar to what you saw with Pokemon did a little bit and became this worldwide craze for a bit. That was a glimpse of what's going to be coming.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's an interesting take that I pretty much agree with because I do agree that, gaming, there has to be some sort of ease and accessibility to it where, I mean, most of the time when I play games, it's on my phone, kind of when I have a break from something or I have 10, 15 minutes, I go, let's check this, play this, waste some time. So I definitely do agree with that. And yeah, the whole VR thing is I mean, you got to be at home and have an hour locked in to kind of put those clunky glasses on, as you mentioned. But yeah, that's an interesting take that I definitely agree with. So kind of on that, how do you, I guess we kind of touched on this earlier, but I was kind of curious on people's take on companies like Meta getting into the VR gaming world. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier with the bigger companies, but so I'm just curious, like have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yeah, it was an epic movie.
Okay, because I always look at that as like, that's the end goal of the metaverse essentially, and then I kind of look at Meta or like one of these giant corporations coming in similar to the movie. So I was just curious your take on the overall landscape of bigger companies coming in, because what we have with crypto is kind of more of a grassroots, community-driven games, and I worry when these larger corporations come in that a lot of these smaller projects like feed off community feedback, what the people want, whereas the larger corporations don't really have that worry. Do you have any take on that?
They're all going to be moving to this Web3 play to earn integration. Crypto, it's just like the internet. It's the internet of assets and money and finance. It's like connecting. It's you can't avoid it. You can't ignore it. Doesn't matter if you're a big company. Doesn't matter if you're a Web2 company. Time of Web2 is past. Just like the time of paper was past. Just like the time of horses was past. Technology is like internet slowly integrated itself into every aspect of our lives, and crypto is going to integrate itself into every aspect of our lives. And the companies that integrate them and move forward with this technology, they're going to exist in the future. Doesn't matter that Facebook was big before. If it doesn't integrate Web3, if it doesn't integrate this play to earn technology, it's just going to get wiped out. That like they have to join the what like as it evolves, they have to join the evolution. They can't just like stay behind. It doesn't work. And Meta and all those, they will integrate it. Facebook is the only one that really pushed hard into Meta compared to like Google and Apple. But there's a reason for that, and I think Facebook just they did it because of the whole workplace, like work in metaverse world. But Google and Apple, they're going past that. So if you looked at the new Apple glasses that are coming out, like the prototypes, you can see that they're going straight for this augmented reality. Google Glass that I was working on in 2000 and I think 2015, 2014, I got the first prototype of Google Glass. They haven't released anything since then because they're just going past the VR kind of. They're going straight to this augmented reality world. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But all these companies will be integrating Web3 and moving to this system. The grassroots companies are going to be the future leaders in the space, unless those big companies join this evolution.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, as I always say, it wouldn't be a CertiK chat without some questions about security. So I know you guys have 2 audits through us, but I was just curious on, what kind of you guys are doing to make a secure game for your players and what steps you've kind of taken to do that.
Luckily, our development studio, they also have like an arm of their studio. It's about 60 developers, and they're very heavy in security as well. And our goal, what we've been doing is just auditing the hell out of our smart contracts constantly, building a really strong security team that's like always available, like with shifts that they can kind of work out problems 24/7. But the bigger overall thing is just we're slowly rolling out. That's the main thing. Rolling out slowly and checking and bug testing, and we have penetration testers constantly trying to figure out like how we can better secure ourselves. It's just an evolution and learning from what other projects did in mistakes, and just having really strong a lot of security developers that understand like security loopholes and bounty programs and stuff like this, and just constantly we expect that there's no way to avoid like even BNB, one of the big Binance, if not I think the biggest company in the world today, got hacked for like $100 million. So it's like it's just constant evolution of the space, constant upgrading of security. The chains, like we're on BSC chain, so during that pause from Binance when they locked the chain earlier today, 5 hours, the current MCRT was also locked. So it's like this evolution of the entire space and growing security. It's internal companies, each of them building stronger security, and that's the main like way it's progressing at the moment.
Yeah, that's good to hear that you guys kind of, have a focus on that. And there is preventative kind of stuff you could do, but there's also stuff you have to do to be reactive when something like that does happen, because as you mentioned, I mean, you can take all the steps in the world, but that doesn't always mean you're 100% secure. And one thing that you mentioned was like kind of learning from what mistakes other projects have kind of went through. And that's something I talked with someone yesterday on, is like, yeah, these exploits or bad things in crypto can happen, but as long as, newer projects kind of learn from those mistakes and improve upon that, then, you got to take the grain of salt, and there's always kind of a good side to it, if you will. But I mean, it's not something we want to see. We don't want to see any hacks or, depegging or anything like that. But as long as we can kind of learn from that and continue to grow the space, I think that's a win.
It's unavoidable as well. Like when you build anything new, you're going to have people that try to exploit it, and in those exploits and the defense of those exploits, it's improving. So yeah, and CertiK is one of the big, like even your name is kind of like security in a way. Your company is going to be very beneficial from this like growth in security, because crypto security and like this whole like what's been happening with crypto, it also kind of made a rise of this like massive scammer hacker market as well, because they also like whenever there's a nice like good technology made, it's also used for bad purposes. So yeah, like your company's one of the, I think, if not the main player in the defense of this or the security side.
Yeah, as I always tell people, I mean, we are in a new space and there's new technology and everything coming out every day, and it's kind of, we do our best to stay on top of it, but at the end of the day, it's new to most people, and there's always going to be someone out there kind of trying to change the game. So, I mean, I'm out of questions. We can either wrap it up or we can take on some live questions. I saw we had a few people requests. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do live questions. I love hearing from the communities and answering their questions as well. If you want, anyone has a question, just throw up your hands and we'll make you a speaker.
Yep, right now we got Nathan. What's up?
James, good to hear from you. I was at DEF CON 25 a few years ago, and there was a main track speaker, Manfred. Are you familiar with him?
No, I don't know him.
When you were going through your credentials of games that you'd played historically and everything like that, it just reminded me so much of all of the MMORPGs that he had exploited and blown up and called server rollbacks and everything like that. Yeah, so he absolutely when it comes to video game hacking and everything, he's pretty much the guy. That's the reason for most of it, and he's also the guy that kind of shaped the current day economy about like how microtransactions are used in games and what in-game assets are used versus what you can actually buy. And he's a guy that I watched a bunch of his stuff afterwards. He did Darknet Diaries 7 and 8, which is an excellent security podcast. I highly recommend everyone listen if you're interested in security and gaming. But he's someone that I could definitely introduce you to, and that you should probably chat with as a consultant or something like that. As far as gaming security goes, or just even meeting the guy, he's absolutely incredible. So
Awesome.
I'd like to hook that up for you.
Yeah, that would be epic. If you could message me on Twitter details, that would be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to get as many experts in MCRT as possible.
Yeah, I will do. All right, excellent. But congratulations on changing the gaming economy and working hard and doing what you can. So best of luck, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Nathan.
All right, and it looks like we've got a lot of people in here, but many are shy.
Feel free to ask questions, talk. There's no wrong questions.
So unless we get any other ones, do you have any other topics you want to discuss or any kind of, final words to share about MagicCraft? Maybe something you want to talk about that I didn't ask about or anything along those lines?
Yeah, come follow the socials and come into the testing. Like, check it out as we go live. The game is epic. We played. The best thing about making a play-to-earn company like a Magic, like MCRT, like a crypto gaming company, is every day in our team meetings, we literally have the team meeting inside the game. So it's epic. Join us, play, and the team we're getting really good because we've actually been testing it for like 2 months internally. So when the live PvP matches go live, our team should have a head start. But as we've been adding more and more people to the live testing, what we've noticed is like the young generation, like younger players come in and they just instantly kick out, even though we've been playing for longer. So yeah, join us and get good at the game. Another thing that was really cool is in the beginning, we had $5,000 matches of MCRT, like the big overall tournament matches in internal testing. And one of the prizes was $5,000. And that was before MCRT did like 15x or something. So some of the people that were winning the tournaments in the closed testing were like, some of the staff members are quite rich now because they were winning like $1,000, $5,000, $100 prizes that then 15x or so. Yeah, try to get in early.
I think everyone loves the 15x. Diego, yeah, you got a question, man?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Jane, for all your hard work and your teachings. So I have a question regarding one of the topics that you mentioned several times. My understanding is that you want the MCRT ecosystem to be used by other games, basically, to use the MCRT token. So I would like to know what would be the incentive of those games of using, MCRT and not using their own token or creating a new one. So I don't know if you can explain that a little in detail. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diego. Beautiful question. And I always see your posts on Twitter, epic posts. So to answer the question, it's the technology we're building is not easy. It's actually 60 developers, a lot of smart contract developers that are working really hard to build this technology. It's actually quite difficult. And what we're doing when we're creating some of this stuff, like our lobby systems and our Web3 wallet connection, and then kind of tournament access, like putting MCRT to gain access to these matches and integrating it with the Web2 side of things, like the actual game, the APK from Android and the iOS versions. This technology is quite difficult to build. It takes a lot of time. So what we want to do is use that same technology, but package it for other companies, other projects. But it's not that they need to just use our token. What will happen is they will put what we're planning to do. It hasn't. This is like we're creating it as we go. But what we're the lobby system's already ready. But what we'll do is we're going to get them to use their token against MCRT. So we want to make MCRT the gaming currency. So instead of games having to build their entire Web3 systems and the integration with Web2 and the integration with their currencies, instead we will kind of white label the code, the systems, and they will use their logos and their game matches, but their currency will transact through MCRT's currency. So they can still have their own currency, they can still have their own games, they'll still have their own branding, and it will look like their game, but it'll be our APIs and our web interfaces and stuff that are in the back end, and MCRT as the currency that's kind of operating through at the bottom, like underneath everything.
So you mean like we use nowadays NBMB to do those transactions?
Yeah, exactly. Like even though you're buying MCRT, you're doing it on BSC's chain, right? You're doing it on BSC network. It's similar to that, but it's kind of like when you play, for example, if Fortnite was to come in and we were to integrate with Fortnite, it would be Fortnite's logos that you see on the lobby matchmaking and Fortnite's currencies. And it'll look like everything Fortnite, but it'll be really our APIs and our MCRT and our currency that's in the back of it, operating everything. That's our goal in the long run, to bring because all these games are going to come into Web3 and into play to earn. So our goal is to make it easier for them and to make MCRT the default underneath everything, doing these transactions and these APIs.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for answering that question, James. Good luck with
You're
everything.
welcome, David. Thank you very much.
And then location, if I pronounced that correctly. Dang, yeah, good try. I wanted just first thing, the CertiK guys, I use a lot of products from a company called BitSite, more in the corporate security space. They have a ranking system that you can have access to that uses their point of view, if you will, on ranking security postures of different companies globally and worldwide. I would love it if you guys moved in that direction. I think it's been brought up a number of times that having a third-party verification of security protocols and security environments for crypto is sorely needed in the space. So just kind of an ask there. I don't know what your roadmap looks like, but that would be super cool. And then for James, I just want to say thank you to you and your team. This is a phenomenal project. I mean, I remember trying to sell stuff and trying to figure out how to use Linden dollars and all of the other games that you mentioned over the course of time. And this is just really a phenomenal sort of advance on top of all of that. I am curious if when we'll start to see some of the Siege mode play. I know there's a huge focus. You guys are just killing it, getting the PvP out and the public beta out and stuff. But just curious how the Siege roadmap looks right now.
At the moment, we're focused more on the PvP and this kind of integration of Web3 and NFTs and the kind of PvP and loot system and kind of monetary system and economies within the game. And once we have that base, like we have the engines, we're using Unity, we have the world, we have the characters, the storylines, the character models. Now as it progresses, it would just be about expanding the world, making new maps, adding castles, adding different kind of gameplay modes. So it will just be a progression over time. We're going to be soon, for a very exciting thing coming up as well, we'll be releasing like future roadmaps of what we're building. And then people will see like the timeline. This is not to build the stuff we're doing, like to add each character, to rig the character, to make shading, 3D models, designs. Each character is like 2-3 months. And we have such a big team, like around 150 people all up working. There's 60 developers. So we have a very big team. It's like this is going to be building for 5 to 10 years. So our goal is to get it playable, get the PvP out, have people playing, and then just constantly expanding the world, the game modes, the maps, the castle sieges as we progress. But the PvP, like once you play the game, a lot of people are gonna. I feel like as we've been playing, that's kind of what happened with us. They're going to want us to stop at the PvP and just focus on making the PvP and that gameplay because it's just epic. Like it's so skill based. The best players, like it's going to a huge league. We ended up actually creating like a giant league game. So like there's going to be massive tournaments. So we'll see how it progresses. But at the moment, we're just having so much fun with the PvP and this like really like skill based. Like the best player always wins. It's like really skill based.
Yeah.
Really, it's getting very exciting. So we'll update as we progress, but it's quite a long roadmap. But we expect like 2023, we will start having like the expansion of the world and adding more maps and game types.
Yeah, I think economically, it makes the most sense to enter the market at that. It's clearly the biggest space to play. You've got a huge opportunity to make a big splash. So I think just from a business plan perspective, it makes a ton of sense to do that. And kudos on just the theme, the style of the characters. I think, I've seen things develop. You guys are really starting to kind of dial in what your look and feel and tone and all of that stuff is. So good work. Godspeed. Keep going.
Thank you very much, man. And yeah, we had a presentation from the team, like progression of the game, like the original 2D designs and sketches and stuff, and to where we've come now in that whole progression. It's beautiful. The team will be releasing it on socials as well. They're doing an amazing job. I get a lot of the credit, but it's like 150 people in behind me that's actually building everything. They're doing amazing.
And then Luke, to kind of answer your the recommendation or what you want to call it, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with the leaderboard at CertiK.com, but we do have kind of a ranking system, and we give project scoring that we call the trust score, which there's a lot of things that go into that. But yeah, we are working towards something like that. Right now it's just for clients that have Skynet, but we're kind of looking at opening that up and possibly having a larger ranking thing. So yeah, I mean, that is something that's in the works, and I guess you'll have to stay tuned for more.
Yeah, it's cool. It can add a whole other sort of like consultative economy around your brand. And I think that that's going to happen as the industry goes forward. So like I said, I think it's a right direction to go. I'll go check it out and appreciate the point in the right direction there. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll take one more from Crypto Sensei God. You there?
Thanks, James, for everything. I think everything has been great so far. One thing that's been on my mind from the beginning is like, as you said, this is going to be a long project and like huge epic game and everything, but you're essentially going to be able to bet real money against others. So what about the gambling aspect? And I know some apps and games have problems getting into the Play Store and App Stores because of like underage gaming and all kinds of problems that might occur when you let like people bet. Is there going to be some limit on like betting and stuff on like that?
Full question. This was a hurdle that we need to go, but we just went with the traditional gaming way, and that's through tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not actually betting; it's just tournament structure. So you're like accessing the match in a tournament. So you're like buying a ticket, or you're kind of entering the tournament. So I don't want to use the word betting because it's not betting. Is like I versus you, and I put money down, and like if it's like me versus you and betting, or like a poker, it's more like a tournament structure. Like the winner of the tournament will take the pot, like take the prize. So we're going for more tournament prize. Like tournaments are already allowed, so we're going down that aspect. The hard thing is actually the integration of Web3 and Apple and iOS and Android. That's actually what's been the difficult part. And we're working with those, like working through that, working with the stores, how to do it properly. And the way at the moment it's going through most of the projects that are doing it, because it is kind of a difficult path to navigate. They're going through more of like the whole Web3 side of things is like on like the internet browser integration of a wallet that connects to the Web2 aspect. But then there's news coming out that Apple is now allowing NFT integration and stuff. So it's just a progression and kind of navigation as these rules change, as the market kind of moves forward. But I don't want to make betting where people can just like unlimited like gamble. We want to make it like tournament structure. So there's like an overall prize, and the best players are taking that prize.
Okay, thank you. That pretty much answered all my like concerns. Sounds good, and thanks for everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think this is some of the most live questions we've had, so very adamant community you guys have here.
They're amazing.
And then MK, do you have a question?
Hello. Hi, James. Yeah, one question about Play to Earn. When will this functionality be available for players to play and earn? We know you said the full game, if everything goes fine, goes out one day before Christmas. And what about this playing aspect, playing and earning?
So internally we're already playing internally and earning, but through kind of MetaMask and Web3 side of things. It's not integrated fully. We're expecting this kind of Web3 integration to be starting to be tested in November. So at the moment we're building this like tournament systems and the Web3 interface. We're starting to see like in the next few days there'll be release of the closed beta Web3 system where you're going to connect your wallet, and it's going to verify whether you have 1 million MCRT for the last 10 days snapshot or 1 NFT. So we're starting to see this integration, but November we're expecting more of this play to earn integration. But it's not like we're in testing. So I never like giving dates for new technologies like this, because it might be ready and then we test it and then we need to make sure it's like really polished. So in November, we'll start testing the Web3 play to earn integration. At the moment, we're manually doing it, and we have these kind of Web3 wallet connect systems, but November we'll start seeing more of this integration into the actual game.
All right, then looks like we got one more. Nick.
Hey James, I love everything you've been doing. Been a student, made a lot of money with you, but I was curious what you thought the like in your opinion, what the main hurdles are from a market cap perspective. Because I mean, just for me, I'm shocked that we're not in the hundreds of millions. Just comparing us to like other projects, other technologies, other uh, games, it's just kind of crazy that we haven't necessarily hit those benchmarks. So what in your opinion are some of the hurdles keeping that from happening?
Well, the people that are following the project heavily, they see this the game that we've developed and how far along it is compared to the other project. A lot of the internal community sees this, but the overall community or the world, they're seeing that we somehow sometimes hitting top charts and stuff like this. But we really expect people to really take notice when the public beta opens, because at the moment it's a lot of internal things. It's it's internal team testing, it's internal community seeing the gameplay, seeing the project. But as we start really opening it to the public, that's when we really expect people to really, oh wow, they have a game that's going to take other projects 4 years to build and millions of. That's when we're starting to get. We believe we'll really start to get noticed. Another reason is we launched at the end of the bull market, and we went to like 10 cents and like $100 million market cap, but right at the end of the bull market, and then the bear market came, and we've just been building during this bear market. So we've just been building through like one of the worst like corrections in history. And right now we're kind of, in my opinion, at the bottom of one of the worst bear markets in history. So the fact that we've held, like, we're still from the IDO price, I think we're up like 4x from the launch of the token. The seed rounds were up like 6x or 8x since the seed rounds. Now we're up like 150% from the bottom. So in these current market conditions, it's doing extremely well. In a bull market, I think we'd already be in the billions of dollar valuations already. But we expect people to really start to take notice when players start playing and they start being like, oh wow, like they see the difference in our gameplay compared to Axie Infinity, Themed Arena, etc. And that's when we really expect people to start taking notice. So when the public beta goes live, which we're aiming for starting next week, it's gonna get, I believe, much more exciting.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for all your work. Love you, man.
Love you too, Nick. Thank you.
Well, it looks like we're coming up on the hour, so I think we've got a lot of information out here. I've learned a lot. I think you kind of gave your final words, James, but do you have anything else you want to share after those questions?
The fact that you guys are all here during this, like, everyone is in crypto and paying attention when it's the top of the bull market and it's Bitcoin's at 69K and projects are pumping into the billions. But the real people that make money are the ones that are here now, that are in the bear market, at the bottom of bear markets, when all the people that came for just the quick money and the quick gains, they've left. And it's like the people that held on. I've seen it through three bull markets and bear markets that I've been through now. And I know everyone that I know that was in a bear market in 2017, everyone I know that was in the bear market in the previous ones, 2015, 2011, once they go into the next bull market, they're the ones that are financially set for life and retired and free. So the fact that you guys are here now during this kind of really bad bear markets, they're going to call you lucky in the future.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying that yesterday in the space is like this bear market seems like there's a lot more projects kind of still building and people kind of still interested compared to 2017, 2018, where most projects and people disappeared. So it's definitely a good sign of some strength in the ecosystem where we're headed. But James and MagicCraft, I want to thank you guys for coming on. And for all the people listening in, be sure to follow CertiK and MagicCraft. I appreciate you guys. I've definitely learned a lot about your game, and I'm looking forward to the public beta coming out.
Thank you very much for having us. And yeah, you guys are amazing. And thank you, everyone.